Welcome to First Impressions. Today, it's Clipcentric's turn, and I'm with Ryan and Sean, who are going to be talking about their creative production platform. First Impressions is like one of those unboxing videos you see on YouTube of people opening up toys, except it's for ad tech, and we get to actually see like a demo of the product as well as get to learn how it can help us as publishers do what we need to do. So with that, I'm going to turn things over to Ryan. Ryan would love to hear about Clipcentric, give us a little bit of a picture, and then once we get there, Sean's going to take us through a demo. So Ryan, take it away.
Cool. Well, thanks for having us, Rob. Always great to talk to you. Just going to spend a couple minutes, like you said, just kind of giving a high level of Clipcentric, and then I'll pass it over to Sean for the good stuff as far as looking into the ad units and some bells and whistles in the platform. But just to kind of kick off, obviously it all begins with our platform for creating premium display ads. We have two types of clients. We have self-service clients that are within the platform, building units every day. And then as well, we have a full service side where we're building the ads and just providing back the ad tags and full service support as far as campaign analytics and things like that. It's all backed by our best-in-class service team. We're available 24/7, 365 days a year. They're doing everything in there from supporting our self-service clients in the ad builds, as well as doing any types of training. One of the other things we lean on here at Clipcentric is our long expertise in the space. So the founders of our company had another company called Ad Interacts, which was sold to Yahoo back in 2006. After the acquisition, the founders kind of they felt like they left a few things on the table. They had a few industry issues that they felt like they wanted to address. And so back in 2014, Clipcentric was founded. And in that time, we have become the trusted partner for ad builds for the likes of CBS Interactive, Verizon Media, Penske Media Group, Nexstar, Cox Media Group, PGA Tour, NASCAR.com, and Golf.com, to name some of our great partners. And the last point I want to make is that we can do the simple to the sublime. So, Rob, as you know, in working with our clients, we will very much work with your ad portfolio, get process down, get templates down, so that your sales team can go out there and repeatedly sell these units. And then obviously there's also the crazy outside the box ideas, which we can support as well. So just wanted to make that point that we can do everything from the simple to the sublime.
Awesome. Thanks, Ryan. So yeah, like, Ryan's mentioning, from our side, we can really support any type of display advertising, from the most basic HTML5 animation ads to something that's truly responsive, being able to build that ad to hopefully have it run in multiple ad slot sizes, right? So this first example I'm showcasing is something more standard. This would serve to potentially all sorts of different IAB sizes that is responsive. So based on the ad container slot size that I serve it against, 970 by 250, 300 by 250, 160 by 600, this is truly responsive. The designers or my team, if they're building it, builds it one time. We traffic it through the ad tag, and you truly can run it anywhere. And then we will give back all sorts of analytics on how those ad units performed. This next example is an ad that has HTML5 animation, but then it comes to this end frame that lets that end user drive their own path through the creative, right? So interactivity within inside of these ad units, letting them see what they want to see. And all these different touch points or these different things that I'm clicking on truly are trackable, right? So we can tell you how many times they viewed the red car versus the blue car. Did they do it on desktop? Did they do it on phone? And we'll be able to tell you all those metrics by default when you schedule our ad tag. Two units that are designed to have that wow factor, the high impact type, high creative, but also be responsive, but also maybe stay in view, right? This is a great format that we see across a lot of our partners, that viewability, it's always in view, right? This has a sticky component, lives at the top of the page. This could run across all screens, truly responsive. This example is looking at the end user's geolocation, right? So we, from our side, have our own geo data, so we could change creative on the fly based on where that end user is. So are they in the UK versus New York versus LA? One ad tag scheduled globally. We can make those decisions, just sort of the correct creative when it needs to happen. This unit truly can run across all screens and sizes, right? The same ad unit gets scheduled to phone, right? It could run in app, outside of app, MRAID, Google AMP pages, all sorts of different environments inside of save frames pretty easily with all these different units. To maybe even taking that step further to having something that's truly high impact, right? For maybe entertainment clients, where this is a unit called our video wall. So on load of the page, pushes page content out of view, has this big, beautiful video that is truly responsive. And this unit, is accepted, right? It gets around all the stuff that came out with the Coalition for Better Ads, right? This truly is accepted and okay because it's in line. It's not a floating interstitial over page content. So units like this could still run. Potentially interactive or shoppable video, right? You could have your standard video component that now has some call to actions where that end user could maybe buy that purse that's in view, or learn more about the car that's in view, or click on that Samsung, refrigerator, or whatever it may be, and learn more about those products, and all built inside of our platform.
I always think about with these types of units is that they're typically handled around direct sold campaigns. You have the ability for this to work through programmatic pipes, correct?
Correct. Yes. Yep. You're going to have probably more options to run more standard type ads through the programmatic side of things, right? To open up more inventory, but you truly could still run units like this super billboard. We can make these ads that are smart and listen to the page environment that it lives in, to do different things. Am I on, desktop versus phone and whatnot? That's all built into the back end of our technology and that ad build. So truly, you should be able to run that, on your own pages and properties. But if you want to extend those buys on something like the Trade Desk, you should be able to use those similar ad units, similar ad tags, and run them there.
The other part I like is thinking about it from the e-commerce solution, right? There's a piece where, as publishers are looking at making more money through e-commerce, I could sit there and promote my store, my shop, my affiliate links or whatever into an ad unit. And I think you have one, right, as an example where, someone can supply you with a number of images and someone can actually scroll and interact with them in different ways.
Totally. Yeah. There's all sorts of different ways to implement that, right? Like to something similar to like an e-circular, right? A shoppable type unit, this page flip type ad, right? This could all be built with one set of creative that we serve to everybody, or maybe Target wants to give us access to that feed, or the agency has access. So now we could look at geo and say, all right, closest target to me is X, put that store location in, maybe add a pin on a map, and actually change the content because maybe my deals are different than the store that's closest to you, Rob. So, any ad format, it doesn't have to be this one, truly that data-driven component or that e-commerce piece that you're talking to could be in any ad unit, a standard ad to something high impact like this, to maybe it's just a 300 by 600, right? That has those components, shoppable, all that type of stuff could happen everywhere. Originally the platform was designed for self-serve clients, and then we built our full service team around that. We had partners that didn't have that design team, and they needed help, right? So we work with partners all different ways. We do full service, similar to like how we work with you, to clients that we train them on the platform how to build, how to we set up templates for them for their different specific formats. And then they're off and running. They're logging in every day, uploading assets, building ads, grabbing ad tags. And, we really don't talk to them much other than when they need help. Maybe they need a new template. Maybe they need new ad features within the platform. We're always evolving our platform. So maybe they need some new bells and whistle or something. So that's how we support them there. And, training, ongoing trainings all the time. So if they have, you have a design team, we'll do as many trainings as it need to do to get them up to speed. And from our side, we can support all sorts of video, right? To us, it really doesn't matter what type of video that you have on hand. Just try to have a good quality one, and then we can render and create that video, the final versions of the video in our own platform here, and then just plug and play. Very simple to drop video into any ad unit. Say you do have some 100 meg Photoshop file, can't serve that. It's just doesn't happen, right? So once you import that in, we have image optimization, right? So we can optimize the creatives, the background images, the copy, all that type of stuff right in the tool. We're always trying to optimize and make WebP images, right? Because we can do a lot of compression there, but still keep the quality of those images, right? So our goal is, let's build the most streamlined ad unit that is going to load fast, right? So let's optimize all those creatives. Optimize the video, right? Maybe you have 100 meg video, can't serve that in an ad, right? So we can optimize that to a specific file weight right in the platform. Let's shoot for 2.3 megs and render that video. And then that's what we do. So, what we normally tell designers and agencies and whoever's in the tool is, when you're building yourself in Photoshop, build the best looking stuff that you possibly can, import it into our platform, and then you can optimize right there by a click of one button. Yeah, let's just jump into the platform, right? So it's truly all web-based. When you log into the system, we'll go to the design tool, and inside of here, I'm just going to load a basic ad, right? So we have most basic ad you'd ever build, right? An expandable, right? So you upload some assets, we can put controls over top of it and hotspots to control the ad. But inside of these ad builds, we could have all sorts of different types of creative, right? Is it just a JPEG? Is it a PNG? Maybe I want video. Do I have HTML5? So inside of our ad builds, we can change the different building blocks, the different layers that are in the ads. We can change the type, right? So maybe the asset is hosted on the client server, the agency server, and we could just point to it, bring it into the ad, and just like we're hosting it, right? To maybe you have some standard HTML, right? That was pre-written. You want to import that HTML, or maybe on the advertiser's website, they have a form. They're going to do data capture, right? We could cut and paste that HTML, drop that into an ad, and serve that up that way. We can do product carousels, video carousels very easily with widgets inside of the platform, to building your own HTML5 animation. That this tool is very, very strong, right? So you can do lots and lots of things that we used to do back in the day when Flash was around. Can do that again now using our HTML5 editor. We have all sorts of different widgets and pulling in, social sharing and map widgets. We have match widgets, YouTube widgets, videos, all sorts of stuff, right? And then what we do from our side is we help build out those templates, right? So say we build out a template for publisher A, and here's their template, right? We have this super billboard ad unit that we can see how it looks and scale it on desktop.
Mm-hmm.
We can test it on the phone, see how this is going to look in all those different environments, all sorts of different devices. And then we build the template, but then we also build a Photoshop file that matches it, the pixel dimensions, what it looks like on desktop, what it looks like on phone. And then I could go simply import that PSD. It brings up this PSD importer. It takes my creative that's in my Photoshop layers. It maps them to the layer that it needs to go inside of Clipcentric UI. I click continue upload. Depending on the file, this one's like 7.5 megs. It might take a minute or two to get that file into the system. But once you do, then we could go, now I puts all my elements in this HTML5, and I could come in here and simply start to animate, right? Within a matter of a few seconds, I can animate these, or I could change the image quality. Like I could go to the background, right? This background image right now shows at 800K. Let's render that down to say 85%. I render that image in a matter of a few seconds. I just took 600K out of that image. Now we're down to 199. I mentioned, we talked about the heavyweight, every ad reports, right? So we have in our ad reports, you can click on this and just click run heavyweight ad test. And that's where we can see all the different things that'll happen if it's going to be, approved or not approved or blocked. So we really make it easy for that end designer to just do a lot of their work inside of Photoshop, right?
Right.
And then just simply import that PSD in, maybe do some animations, right? All the legwork for these formats is done prior to, us even handing over that Photoshop file. So a designer truly doesn't have to focus on, all right, am I adding a new layer? What am I doing with it inside of the platform? I'm a designer. I'm just going to design and import that file. We go to our trafficking section where you could go grab that super billboard, define a campaign ID or publisher ID. You have to do those for each tag. And then you have the option to include other parameters for advertiser, the placement, the vertical, the format. We suggest putting as many of these in as you can, because it's just going to help ways to slice and dice your reports down the road. Maybe you want to build benchmark data, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every time you run a super billboard with video, you call it that as your format. Then you have, you're starting to build your benchmark data. We can run all sorts of environments, right? So here's our different set of ad tags that you could pick from. The only difference between these ad tags are maybe different macros. Google's macros different than the Trade Desk versus Centro's and so on. So that way our server and their server can sync up with less discrepancies for impressions. And then once it goes live, then we start to have reporting metrics, right? So within a matter of a few minutes of those impressions going live, we have our reporting dashboard, and I'm just going to pull up a saved report that will showcase all the different metrics that we're tracking by default, right? So with every ad tag that we schedule, this is a snapshot of all the different metrics, right? Impressions, interaction rates, viewability, video completion rates, to maybe it's like that Volkswagen ad where I had the different color cars, custom event tracking, to whatever you want to build in, right? This is our default set, but we can custom track anything. We also track heat map data, so we can show where users are interacting on the creative. So maybe, maybe you use this data to help build a smarter format, right? Maybe a lot of people are clicking through around a small close button. That's a bad user experience, right? You really should just take that data and make a bigger close button, make a better user experience, and learn that data from here. Device data, again, this could run in all sorts of environments. So are they on a phone? Are they on tablet? Are they on desktop? And then we take those environments further. Are they on mobile web versus in MRAID? And then by device, are you on iOS? Are you on Android on phones? Where are those click-through rates coming from, right? Maybe the ad has like a 2% click-through rate. Is it coming from desktop? Is it coming from mobile? We can help tell that story. Video data, right? We track all sorts of different types of video data, but then we can also tell you, how did it perform across the different environments that it ran in. If you are extending your buys, say out onto the trade desk or wherever, you're just buying eyeballs, right? Most of the time, you don't know the sites you're buying, right? You're just buying a type of user. We can tell you where those impressions are happening. We'll pick up the domain data. We can tell you how it performed on the different domains for impression, interaction rates, click-through rates, all that from this data. And the one thing we haven't touched on at all in this call is dynamic creative optimization, right? DCO. So we built that in recently. So now we can, every component, every feature that I've shown so far, we can put a DCO smart engine on the back and say, all right, let's use this call to action versus that one. Or let's show this video versus that one because we know it performs better. So you could have, 3 different background colors, and let's rotate them through until we figure out the blue one works better than the red, and then just show that. So we have DCO data that I could come in and look at, some data here. And basically this is an ad that had a 30-second video and a 15-second video that rotated evenly. And it ran for a few days until we got enough data. And then it just transitioned to the better performing video. And then that video showed moving forward. So that's another thing that our partners are starting to leverage more and more is our true DCO data and optimization in all sorts of formats and ad builds. Yeah, I'll start with the full service because I have it open right here. We make it easy to submit those campaigns to us, right? We have this service request dashboard that they fill in and campaign ID, when's the target date. Here's all the Photoshop files. Here's all my videos, click-throughs, Dropbox links, right? Our standard turnaround times is 3 to 5 business days for any standard builds, right? Normally it happens a little bit quicker than that. We build in a few days, hopefully to go through those revisions that might happen. Most of the time they don't, but if there are revisions, we do have a little extra window there to move a logo, change this copy, that type of stuff. So from there, my team will accept a ticket. We'll build the ads. We'll share back preview links similar to like the ad gallery, all those different preview links that we're looking at there. And then we'll supply final ad tags that would get dropped into the ad server. So that's, everything's pretty much done from my team's standpoint. Self-service wise, anybody that really understands Photoshop could do a lot inside of our platform, right? Because we're truly leveraging that Photoshop import option, they truly focus in there. They can see what it looks like on desktop. They know what it's going to be on phone. They know the different aspect ratios. Is it vertical? Is it horizontal? They see that. They build in there, import it. Within a few basic trainings, like an hour or 2 trainings total sessions, we could get somebody that understands Photoshop up and running and building any format that they would want.